Yeah, yeah.
You are a son of a bitch.
Un saluto a tutti.
What's up, Juventini? Welcome back to the AJC. It is match day, and it's Cinque Maggio, all right? So happy May 5th to everybody, all right? There could only be one jersey choice for me today, okay? And of course, it's this one to remember all those great, great memories, all right? And hopefully that's a good omen for the game today because we got to win this. We got to win this one today, okay? I got Lex. I got Omer. Guys, how are you doing? How's everybody doing?
Well, I'm just the same. Nothing
Just the
really.
same.
Yeah,
Well,
waiting for the game each week.
Lex has got to be doing good. Lex, you got some
Doing well.
news to share that we got to. Congratulations are in order for our friend Lex here, winning Women's Player of the Year, right?
Thank you. Yes, correct. Thank you so much. Yeah, I was super excited about that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And what they do? Give you the key to the city now? Are you running the whole town now? Let's go.
Right? Yeah, maybe just the soccer programs. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
She had
That's
like a
awesome.
four
And
pages
we
speech.
did talk about it a little bit before because Roma is our opponent today. The Roma women's team won the league, all right, and you're going to be playing in a friendly against them?
Yes, I am. Yes, my club has a friendly. They're flying over here to North America, so we're playing in a friendly against Roma women's team. So I'm pretty excited about that as well.
That's
Should be
awesome. And
cool.
what's the date on that?
June 8th. So
June
stay tuned.
8th.
Yeah,
There
I'll
you
have some
go.
content for everyone and maybe see Manuela Giuliano do the Dybala mask, We'll see.
Um, well, if you're scoring, you're dropping the Dybala mask, right?
Absolutely.
Right back in
Absolutely.
Roma's face. Unbelievable. Awesome. That's awesome. So we got some good news there. And then everybody, we've got a ton of news to kind of tackle, take a look at. And Cinque Maggio, first off, though, like always just amazing memories. Trez, Del Piero, getting the job done at the hands, of sealing Inter's fate too. Fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff. May's always tricky, though, because you got May 4th, okay, which is marred by the Superga tragedy, in which we throw the rivalry aside and remember Il Grande Torino. But May 4th now has also a little bit of a positive because Keenan Yildiz' birthday. All right, so he turned 19, and we get the rumors that the contract is done. 2028 extension. He'll get 1 year option on top of that with 2029 and a 1 million per year salary plus bonuses. Okay, so he'll at least be around that long unless we decide to move him, which there's absolutely zero indications of that. And he'll be sticking around on the cheap, I'm sure. If things skyrocket in terms of what he can produce, that number will have to be altered and whatnot. But a little bit of good news on May 4th, which is nice after that tragedy. May 5th, we know what this means to us. A beautiful, beautiful memory. Now, speaking of legacies and memories and all this, Juan Cuadrado had to be Juan Cuadrado. All right, so we got to bring this up, everybody, and it just I had to just he was not gonna escape my wrath. All right, so I had to put the video out there, and I love that the only people defending Juan Cuadrado were not even Juve fans. On the video that I posted, that Cuadrado is a clown. He make no mistake about it. He pissed all over his own legacy. He does not carry a legacy with any other club. The excuses I was hearing from rivals trying to defend him is absolutely ridiculous, okay? It is absolutely ridiculous. You spent 8 years with this club. We treated you well. You were a part of fantastic. What do you win? Like 11 trophies with Juventus? You played 149 minutes this season with Inter, okay? And the first chance you got, you took the bait from that fan base and decided to jump if you're not a Bianconero. Well, guess what? you ain't a Bianconero anymore. And now there's a petition going out to have your jersey removed from the J Museum with players that you don't deserve to be around in that museum. All right. So, absolutely a joke from Juan Cuadrado. I think he's a clown, but, he's never been the sharpest tool in the shed. And there you go. You guys got anything to add on Juan Cuadrado's disrespect,
Mm.
really?
Just that I had forgotten that he had existed. And then I saw this video pop up. Like I genuinely forgot about him because of his injury. And he just had so much like not to do with that Inter squad and their win that I just forgot about him. And then this video pops up about him just, as you said, Al, being a clown and just ruining his legacy. And I was like, I didn't even want to remember him. Like it's just at that point, just ridiculous.
It is absolutely ridiculous that he would do that. He carries no legacy with any other club, and it's just it's ridiculous that they baited him into doing it, and he didn't have the frame of presence of mind to even realize. Like there was a little bit hesitancy there, you could see at the, and then he just gives in. I'm like, you are a silly, silly man, Omer.
Yeah, like what was the point? What was the goal? Well, I mean, like you said, 21,000 minutes with Juve, goals, assists, last minute winners, titles, all sorts of titles. Like that was your career. Why would you just shit on that for one moment of love from fans who won't even remember you were there? Like you're going to be one tough trivia question in the future for Inter fans. And is it just for what? For the likes, for the applause, just to be liked for a second? Just nothing. I mean, he brought it on himself, so
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
that's Juan's legacy. That's how I would remember him.
Yeah. And I took a lot of heat for the video, like I said, not from Juventini though, so I couldn't care less. All right. And I was actually easy on him. I saw some of the other videos out there, and yeah, I think I maybe went a little too easy on old Juan. Anyways, you're a tool, Juan, and yeah, an idiot as well. Now, McKennie, did he fumble up or was this in fact a hack? What the hell? So Weston McKennie with this profile picture change on Facebook, and then 1 hour later it changes again. So it's a Man U picture saying I'm here, and then an hour later back to Juventus. Another hour after that, I was hacked. Forza Juventus. It's such a plain Jane. I was like, nice admin comment there, whoever's running his account. But it's interesting because there was a rumor like that was floating around the day before that he had rejected another offer from Juventus. Okay, and that again, Juve's trying to lowball Weston McKennie, and fans, the majority feel he is entitled to this pay raise. But what's interesting with the news is we haven't heard, and this is what I say is like, we haven't heard what he's been offered, and we haven't heard what his demands are. So, yeah, I think he's entitled to a little bit more money, and he could probably ask for a little bit more money, but it really depends how much. I'm kind of indifferent to whether Weston McKennie stays or he goes. But if I had to pick like out of the two, for bang for your buck, I'm probably going to lean towards McKennie over Adrian Rabiot, which all the rumors are pointing to Juventus being willing to wait right to the bitter end if Rabiot's waiting for all these assurances on who the coach is going to be, what the team's going to look like and everything, and Juve is willing to just wait right there next to him. Bye-bye, Rabiot. Give McKennie a little bit of a pay hike and you're still making out better overall on your salary. So, first question, we'll start this one with Lex. Did Weston get hacked, or was this a fumble on their part? And how do you feel about the whole Weston McKennie and Adrian Rabiot situation?
I mean, when you told me the story this morning, it's just hilarious what happened. I mean, could it be that doesn't really use Facebook. No one really uses Facebook too much anymore. Maybe he didn't notice. Maybe his admin slipped up, made a mistake. Whatever the situation was, I saw a comment. Yeah, I was going to say it was
Maybe it
Chiara.
was Fratese's sister.
That's what I thought too at first. I mean, who knows the situation? It's a little fishy considering the context given his contract renewal negotiations, but I mean, I guess it's not much more to read into other than maybe a silly coincidence. And in terms of the comments on Rabiot and McKennie, I agree with you completely, Al. I think that if I had to lean towards keeping one, it would be McKennie for sure, mainly just because of, as you said, the value you get for your money, as well as his getting paid like a fraction of what Rabiot is making and is going to ask for. So I'd say make McKennie happy, give him that renewal. It's silly, like you said, that we just don't know any of the numbers, so it's hard to make judgments. I guess in terms of what we've seen, we haven't really seen any figures to have some, relations to other salaries and whatever we're looking at in terms of renewal. But I would go with the renewal for McKennie, in my opinion.
Yeah. Omer, your thoughts?
About the contract or about the post?
More so the contract.
Most of the contract, yeah, I figured. Um, yeah, I mean, we've talked about it a couple of times. If anyone deserves to at least ask for a raise, it's McKennie out of most of the squad. Of course, it all depends on the numbers. I have no idea what he asks for. He clearly earns a lot less than guys who do a lot less than him for the team. So, yeah, I think he's in the right to ask for at least something similar to them, which would be like, I don't know, 4 million, 4.5. But then he'd have to live up to it. And if he's not planned on being a starter next season, shouldn't pay a bench player 4.5 million a season.
Yeah, that's kind of.
But I would like to keep him, on the bench. He will be useful, I believe. And the Man United, it's like someone took his phone and didn't notice and just posted it and laughed. Yeah, it had to deal with it later. I'm not buying that. That's a dumb photo to to post. I'm not buying. Isn't Lex like our entertainment channel? Like she follows all the girlfriends and wives of all the players from Juve. She always knows what's going on with them.
Here's the thing with Weston is it's got to be because a lot of the debate, like a lot of the arguments against it are that he's not Juve quality. He's going to be this rotational guy. That's fine. And that's why I say it really depends on what the terms are. If you're paying him as a rotational player, then we're good. Right now, as it stands, Weston McKennie makes $2.5 million net. Okay, players ahead of him are essentially Moise Kean at $3 million per season. Okay, you have Daniele Rugani at $1.5 million more than Weston McKennie. Okay, you have Alexandro making $3.5 million more than Weston McKennie. Okay, these are all guys that come off the bench currently. Okay, then if you want to look at starters that have not produced to the level of Weston McKennie, you're going to have a list of guys in there that make more money than him as well. Locatelli's making more than him. Rabiot's making way more than him. And Rabiot's got this, a little bit of a following there that say that, no, he's big, he's crucial to Juventus, we should definitely keep him. He's an international player, etc. I don't know. I think McKennie should be probably in that bench type role salary. You can't sign a guy like Thiago Giallo who makes more than the guy. You can't do that if you're Juventus. You already set yourself up for a little bit of a failure there. So he's right to ask. But if he wants like 5-6 mil a season, okay, now I'm pumping the brakes. Now I'm saying no.
Yeah, he'll find out no one is willing to pay that anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, the same case that was with Dybala and his contract. He thought it was worth more than teams were actually willing to pay. And maybe someone in the Premier League will pay that for him, but apparently they're talking about salary caps there, so they may have to reconsider as well. Just signing players for the fuck of it. Yeah, he
Yeah,
should stay. I mean, for his own benefit, if the team will trend up, I think he'll be the one benefiting from it.
yeah. 3.5, Vidad said, is fine. Anything more, too much? Yeah, I'm kind of thinking like if Keane's making 3 mil and he was basically third string at that striker role, yeah, give Weston 3.5, somewhere in that range, and we're good. But if he's not accepting that, sorry, Wes, I got to move you. Got to move you and got to sell you since you're going into a final contract here, which is another thing Juve's really going to have their eyes on because we have a lot of contracts that are going to be expiring. And if we go to expiration of 2025, obviously we know Chiesa, you got Danilo, you got Keane, so they're looking to move all these guys. Weston McKennie's in there, Perrin's in there, DeCilio, bye bye, maybe. Illing Jr.'s in 2025, Pinsolio's in 2025. They've got a lot of just a lot of stuff going on there. And then you have your 2026s as well, which a lot of these guys they're trying to make calls on. That's got your Milik, that's got Dusan Vlahovic that they're trying to extend, obviously, and spread out the salary. Kostic on 2026, all signs are pointing to him, saying see you later. And then we have a guy coming back that's on 2026, and that's Arthur. Don't forget about Arthur, and we have some work to be done there. So, yeah, it's there's a lot on Giuntoli's plate right now, and some more rumors. Looking at the backside of it, we get rumors of Spinazzola. All right, so immediate reaction to Spinazzola and the rumors there and everything. Omer, how do you feel about Spinazzola links?
I like it. I like it. I think it could be very useful for rotation, for all the matches we're going to have next season, for injuries we may sustain. He opens up some interesting avenues in the way that we can play with him. And I don't think he's like a finished player, or maybe a bit past his prime, but there's still a lot to get from him. And for free, I mean, where do we sign? Sounds great to me.
All right. All right. Lex, your thoughts on Spinazzola rumors?
As Omar said, I mean, I like it's on a free. Get an experienced player. Definitely, as you said, still skillful. He's recently, like, finally seemed to have come over that arc he was facing after his injury, serious injury. So, certain games I've watched, he seems to have found his form in certain moments. I think I would love to have him back.
Yeah. There's obviously a lot of concerns, Spinazzola, injuries and everything like that. But that's why I say, like, on a free and not being the main man, somebody that you can, manage the workload. Hell, I don't even think DeCilio is a real person anymore. Okay. I think he's like this
Yeah.
holographic model that shows up at times and, can somehow make his way onto the pitch and all of a sudden he's gone again for another year. So
A
Spina for
solar eclipse.
DeCilio, I'm doing that in a heartbeat. Like
Yeah.
now, there's some options Omer whipped up, and we got to see how everybody feels and what everyone's preference would be around these certain rumors. So we have option number one of what we could see based on certain rumors and everything, and that's Cambiaso on the left, Calafiori next to Bremer, center backs, and Danilo on the right. That's option one. Okay? We get option two, Calafiori, Danilo and Bremer as your center backs, Cambiaso out on the right. It's got Tech and Di Gregorio there. Maybe Omar's given in to Noni's with the whole Tech thing, saying
No,
maybe
I think Perrin is out. I think Perrin
three.
is gone.
Calafiori on the left, Bremer, Gatti as your CBs, Cambiaso on the right. Okay? And then you've got number four with Spinazzola, Calafiori, Bremer, and Cambiaso. So, what option are we liking here? Omar, this was your old thing, so I'm going to let you go first.
Um,
I'll kind of cycle
okay.
through them too, as we see here.
Yes. So I would prefer Calafiori in the center, with Bremer, and like the yeah, probably this one. Probably number three is my favorite. No, sorry, not number three. I mean, we've talked about it a bit. It can look like what Italy did in the Euros, where one of the fullbacks is more defense oriented in his play and doesn't push that high, and the other one just stays up most of the time. And so that could be Spinazzola, that could be Cambiasso. We have options to play with. Calafiore, because he is a left back and a center back, gives us a lot of room to play with him. Option four would probably be my favorite. Yeah, three Italians in defense, maybe four with Di Gregorio. Bremer, hopefully we keep him. And yeah, Gatti and Danilo were probably the ones I'd take out right now.
Yeah. Lex, which one do you prefer?
I'm gonna have to agree with Omer and most of the chat, and that's option four. Definitely looks to be something I would go for. Even option one, two would be a good shout, but I
Yeah.
like option four as well. Like you said, bring back that Euro a combination. Calafiori at the center back role next to Bremer. I like that. Cambiaso as a right back for sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely between 4 and 1, and I think I said one would probably be my main, and the only reason is exactly what I said about the Spinazzola rumors is that workload management. So I feel like one would be the main, but four would be a great change up to be able to bring Spinazzola in there, move Cambiaso to the right. So it's between those two for me. I would be fine
Yeah,
with those. And again, I've spoken a lot when it comes to Juventus rumors and everything in the mercado, and that we are gonna have to be working some free agency. Like we're just gonna have to be doing that. You're not gonna spend at every position. One of the big rumors now, and it's picking up some heat, is Zirkzee. And Di Marzio coming out and saying that Juve is, in fact, from what he's gathering, in pole position to land Zirkzee. And what's funny is that we were hearing this for quite some time from Giovanni Albanese. And of course, he does not have that stature in terms of, what he says in terms of the mercado. It's been a lot from him. He's contradicted himself in certain windows, sometimes during the same day. Okay, so that's why Albanese kind of, you got to just really,
yeah,
really apply the grain of salt rule there. But on this one, he was there and he was saying this. And he said this one about 4 or 5 days ago. DiMarzio just jumping on it yesterday in terms of saying now he is hearing that he is in fact, Juve is in fact pole position to land. But Albanese always had this one thing with this rumor, is that it is Zirkzee with with Vlahovic remaining and going to this 4-2-3-1. How do you guys feel about that working? Because many fans don't see it. Like I see it all the time when I report this story about Zirkzee coming in 4-2-3-1 remaining with Vlahovic, and everybody's like, I can't see the two coexisting. But we got to get your thoughts. How do you think? Do you think it's going to work? Do you think it can? Lex.
I think that absolutely it can, because mainly because when you have two incredible players like them, there has to be a way found to get them to play together. I don't necessarily believe the so and so can't play with so and so, especially when they're two players of their stature and their skill level. I think they would be a fantastic combination. I think if we had the right coach to come with them in order to find a way, like we said, to get them in their movement together and get them combining, I think that would be incredible. And as we've talked about, Zirkzee seems to be more natural at that 10 role anyways. When he's in that false nine role, I know his main criticism is his finishing ability. So I think that having Dusan and having him play a little further back, more in that holding or that sorry attacking 10 role, I think that would be a great spot for Zirkzee.
Yeah, there you go. So Lex can see it happening, Omer.
yeah. I'm all for it. Xerxes, I mean, He's listed as a nine and he plays as the striker for Bologna, but when you watch their game, he's not really a nine.
No.
He's very mobile. He always drops deep. He holds the ball and wait for others to, overlap and make the movements. So he's not like a static number nine. There are combinations are not going to work. Milik and Dushan. If we go further back, like Matri and Quagliarella, that's something that just it doesn't work together, because of the style they play. They needed like it didn't even work with Vucinic until Tevez came, and then we had someone for that role. And from what I've seen from Zirkzee and the way he plays, at least under Mota, yeah, he's like a support striker. He's not a number nine.
Yeah. It's I could see it working. I mean, we have the comment in the chat here, and he was literally brought in to support Arnautovic. Okay, and then obviously changes happened there, and now Omer with a great highlight on how his game is and how he's been operating at Bologna. And then you have the whole thing with working with Mota and Animesh stating that it feels that he's going to go wherever Mota goes, either Milan or us. And this is the thing now that gets interesting is Fabrizio Romano doubled down, and he's stating that all the signs are pointing to Allegri and Juventus separating and saying it's destined to happen, according to Fabrizio Romano. And he states Malta is Juventus's priority, and Juve is Malta's priority. Di Marzio has said same thing, that Juve is going to be pushing here. Mirko Di Natale has said it. Nico Schira has said it, and that there is a contract that's on the table, according to Nico Schira, for Malta. So we have to wait and see. All signs are pointing to this going down. Calafiori, Zirkzee, if these rumors are in fact true, yeah, that's a mercado for Malta. That is working to bring this guy in. And don't forget about our old friend Momblano. We can't forget about our old friend Momblano, who said that there was a meeting, a dinner meeting, that was confidential and private. So confidential and private that Momblano caught wind of it. And that the requests were put
Can you
in.
imagine him sitting with a newspaper with a hole in it and benches around Turin and ambushing agents and players? Poor guy with the percentages.
It's good stuff, man. It's the beauty that is the mercado, though, man. Honestly,
Yeah.
while people hate on certain guys and the credibility and stuff like that, without it, oh man,
Yeah.
it would be pretty dull. I love the outrageousness of the stories and what it just all adds into it. In the end, we gotta wait and see. Momblano did not share a percentage at Amesh. There was no percentage, okay? But he did say there was a dinner there that those requests were made. Some requests were made in terms of the mercado. You also have in the background, Conte's not completely done either. So, the strong guys have been saying no chance, and it's not going to happen, and there is little hope, is what we got just earlier this week from one of the pundits. I'm not really believing it. I think he hasn't made a decision yet because he's waiting to see what goes down at Juventus. I believe he's in the mix, but I do believe that Motta is probably our highest priority based on you. How can you deny it if Di Marzio, Romano, Schira, they're all saying it? I believe he's our top priority. I'm not going to go against all three of these guys when they're saying the same thing, that he's the priority.
Yeah, well, we gotta remember. First of all, I think Juve know what they want to do. They don't change their mind every week based on the results. If Allegri is out, I believe he already knows it. If Mota is the target, he knows it as well. I don't think they're waiting for the season to end, because that might be too late. But we got to remember, sometimes you can be ahead in the negotiations and everything, and something changes. I mean, Bremer was Inter were advanced, very advanced, in the talks with Bremer until like a week before we move to Juve. So other teams can overtake us. It's rumored that Zlatan, who played with Mota at PSG, is trying to pull him to Milan. But even like saying Conte is like our backup plan in case Mota doesn't work out, that's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. That's a great backup plan.
So,
So either way, I'm fine with it.
and Vidad's saying we have better coaching options now than we had since Max has returned, which is another reason I've said for a while I see this changing this summer is because the options are there now. Even in Conceição, which is a weird one there because Conceição, we found out that there was an interview last summer with Juventus. And
Hmm.
he had this weird thing with Porto, like just this past 3 weeks, where there was a renewal done and sealed or whatever. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, no, no. Like nothing was done or something has been reverted and he's fair game now. And I even heard his name linked with Milan. So we'll have to wait and see. But the options are just in general better. Vidal says better options. I am happy with both Mota and Conte. Heart says Antonio, but mind says Mota. Now, obviously, Bologna just drew again, 0-0, and fans are getting nervous. I saw some comments out there with the current run of Bologna with a lot of draws, not scoring many goals, and some fans are getting nervous about it. Have you guys shifted at all or wavered at all given the current run from Bologna and not being able to even surpass us while we're stumbling so bad? Has it changed anything for you?
No, absolutely not. Let me guess. The fans that are suddenly concerned prefer Allegri to stay.
No,
Is there?
they're not.
No.
No.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
They want a coaching
Um,
change. They're just getting nervous. And to be honest, I understand it. There's a gamble no matter who Juventus picks.
yeah, I mean, what other options do you have? Like, the alternative is what, Xavi Alonso, because he haven't lost a game all season. Then he's the safer choice. I mean, yeah, of course, Mota is gonna draw. He's gonna draw with Juve. He's gonna lose with Juve. I'm not looking, taking specific games and specific runs right now with the teams that he had and where he brought them this season. Yeah, a draw here and there, even a slow finish to the season wouldn't change my mind.
Yeah. Lex.
I mean, what did Conte do before he came to Juve?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Omer raises some great points. I agree completely. I don't think that's changed my mind at all. Even if it's a bit of recency bias. I mean, sure, if you want to look at the recent run of form, but I think, as Omer pointed out, just what he's done with the squad he had. I mean, he brought Bologna into Champions League contention. Like, it cannot be understated what a feat that was for him and the squad this season. And as we mentioned, I was just incredibly impressed with his work and the fact that switch out him and Allegri. I don't think Allegri brings that squad anywhere near where Malta brought his team. So I think that I would still be absolutely willing to take him on and hopefully, like we said, get a couple of his players from that Bologna team in with our squad too next season and see what happens from there.
Okay. For me, it's like, I get it. You got some draws. Okay. 1-1 to Udinese, 0-0 to Torino now, but Torino's tough at home. And Torino's one of the top teams for clean sheets at home this season. So that one's like not really this thing. The one against Udinese, okay, but Bologna actually, if you watch that game, should have won. The goal scoring boots were not there. They
What did
beat
we do
Roma.
against Udinese?
Listen, they beat Roma 3-1. Okay, I get it. Monza, Frosinone, goalless draws. Beyond that, this team has lost one game in the last 15 matches, and it was against Inter. Okay? This team has a salary of 30 million euros annual wages. Lost one game in the last 15. Do you realize how many games we've won in our last 15? They have lost less than okay, like it's crazy. It's crazy to me. They've like lost 2 less games than we have won in that span. Okay? It's not a concern that all of a sudden, yeah, some scoring droughts and whatnot are coming in. Overall, the job, the body of work is incredible. It's actually still an incredible body of work. I'm not going to get shied away from some recent draws and lack of scoring. Again, it's coming late to the term. They got to make that final push. They might be okay. In terms of Conte or Motta, it's one of those things where I'm actually okay either way. But my gut is telling me, it's kind of funny because it's telling me the same thing with either one of these guys. I don't want someone else to get either one. I don't want someone else in Italy getting Conte, but I don't want somebody else taking Motta because I think long term, Motta's going to do some good stuff. I feel the same way. I'm good either way, you guys, but I prefer fresh ideas, a fresh face, something actually new. And I'm curious to see what he and Giuntoli could work out and build together. I'm really intrigued by that because I think like his picks might make more sense for us in terms of the sustainable project thing versus Conte. Because Conte's guys are typically like Conte's guys, and then guess what? When that fizzles out and he leaves, you kind of have more work to do. I don't know.
Yeah.
Motta.
Yeah, I mean, if you're already tired of Mota when he's not even coaching Juve and you already have complaints, then yeah, you're not ready for the process we need to go through. And we need to go through a process. I mean, Mota is not being signed to immediately win everything. It will be phenomenal if he does. But like, how can we judge him yet? He's done great. He's improved on his last season, which means the teams have improved. And yeah, logical choice. Seems like a logical choice.
Yeah. And when we brought up this whole thing, Tony Roast Beef says he is unwavered by any of these recent results. And with a name like Tony Roast Beef, you seem like you would be hard and opinionated on your stances. So there you go. There you
Best
go.
name in the chat. Best name in the chat.
Tony Roast Beef. Now, we got to get into Roma Juve today. It's Cinque Maggio. So hopefully that's the good omen. This one pretty much seals it for Juve, you guys. Like, this 3 points, direct clash with Roma, one of the teams vying for the spots. This is big. This is big for Juve. We can't make mistakes. We do have some things in favor of us when it comes to Roma's record. This is with Mourinho and even with De Rossi against top 7, top 8 sides. It's not strong. It's not strong for Roma. Roma, 1 victory in their last 4 matches. That was an awkward 20-minute replay after what happened to Indica against Udinese there, and they had to replay those final 20 minutes. So they got the job done there. But for some, it may start to feel like the wheels have kind of fallen off for Daniele De Rossi's hot entrance and whatnot. But when you look at the results, they've got a big defeat to Bologna there, 3-1. Bologna spanked them up pretty good. A last gasp 2-2 draw against Napoli. That was on the road. And then you have a 2-0 defeat to Leverkusen, who's been playing phenomenal ball this season. So really, it may feel like things are kind of coming off the rails for Roma, but they've had a tough stretch of games. It's a very, very tough stretch of games. So it's not completely surprising. And when you add to that some fatigue mounting up and key injuries, it's not that crazy. And I still think overall De Rossi, what he's done for that side is good. And I still think he's going to have potentially a pretty strong career just in terms of himself and a coach and everything. But right now he feels like the guy for that group. But we should be able to take advantage of this because their record against top 8 sides, and again, the current form they're in and everything. And just in general, the history between Juventus and Roma. Roma have always struggled against us. Juve needs to come out of the gate hard. And we say this all the time. We just need to see it. But really, this is a massive, massive game. For Roma, it's expected that you got Svilar in net, Celik, Lorente, Indica, Angelino, Cristante, Paredes, Pellegrini is your mids. Dybala, Lukaku, Zalewski is what's expected up top. There were a lot of question marks around Paulo Dybala, obviously with the return leg coming up, Leverkusen and whatnot. So we'll see. I expect him to be in there. For Juve, little bit of a free fall, everybody. Little bit of a free fall. Dropping points in 12 of our last 15 games in all competitions. Oh my God. So now things are tight. Things are tight up there. And we had this spot in second place there. And now we are like, what? Where are we at here? A mere 6 points ahead of Roma going into this game. So things got tight. Things got a little bit ugly for us. Expected lineup: Szczesny, Gatti, Bremer, Danilo. Weah and McKennie working the right side. Locatelli, Rabiot, Cambiaso, Vlahovic, and Chiesa. We know that Yildiz is out in this one. Sandro as well, by the way, everybody. But Yildiz out as well. How do you two feel going into this game? What are your kind of expectations of how this game's going to go? And without getting to predictions just yet, but how do you feel going into this? What do you think about that lineup? Lex?
It's interesting. I think, as you pointed out, Berto, Roma's had a really tough run of form, really tough stretch of games, especially that Leverkusen loss at home. Like, going down with that mistake that Karsdorp made within 30 minutes of a Europa League semifinal is just soul-crushing. You can see what it did to that side. But I do think that it also intensifies their games in Serie A, because now not being able to qualify via Europa League, unless they have an amazing comeback on that return leg, now it's very important that they clinch and try to get into that Champions League spot in Serie A. So I think that the game is very decisive for both sides. I think we'll see a hard-fought game. Juve, I think, can definitely take advantage, as you pointed out, of that tough stretch of games, some tired legs, and playing at the Olimpico. I think that Juve it's been questionable because of our run of form. I think that's where the question lies for me. It's almost like which Juve is going to turn up tonight, and that's always the question with this team. So I think that if they show up with the right mentality and we get that proper side that we want to see and what we want to see from this team, we can definitely take these 3 points. It's massive for us too. It would be Champions League, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And Omer, your thoughts?
So yeah, a win kind of seals it, right, for us, Champions League wise.
Yeah.
I don't know what to expect from the team anymore. I mean, we don't even get like the casual win. Like the day that everything works in your favor and the other team has a shit day, we don't even get that. And I hate playing at the Olimpico. We don't do quite well there recently. And no, it feels like an end of a season scuffle, a lot of time wasting, a lot of fouls. Eventually, it will be decided by some set piece, penalty, whatever. Some defender deciding it. It seems like an annoying game. I mean, we have to sell it early. Like there's nothing on the bench to win us the game. But yeah, that's probably the lineup I would go with, considering everyone's available.
As far as the lineup, I mean, it is what it is at this point. To expect something crazy, to expect something different, it's not going to happen. If we haven't seen it what are we talking about? We got 3 games left. Like, you haven't seen something shift, something change, we're going to do it now all of a sudden? No, like, that's the lineup. These are the guys to go with. Weah, you could maybe say, like, Weah or Kostic. I mean, it's a pick your poison type scenario. I mean, neither one has really done anything of incredible significance. And you know what? Weah, why not? Why not?
I think
Cambiaso on the left.
solid.
Cambiaso on the left with Chiesa is something that, like, at the start of the year, I remember all of us being pretty hyped on. And then it just felt like Cambiaso moved to the right, and it was like, okay, we're going to get Cambiaso over here. There was games where Chiesa was chasing him on the pitch to try and play off of him and everything. It's weird. It's really, really weird. But this game, I don't really know what to expect. I mean, how can we expect anything different than what we've gotten? I mean, I've said for countless games now, you have to come out of the gate strong. You have to get fired up. You have to put together a solid 90-minute performance. No more of this one half of garbage, one half of slightly better football. Like, no, you need to play the game properly for its entirety. And the fact that we're in towards the end of the year and we can't do that is a major problem for everybody associated at this club right now, because it's a joke that you're not putting in full shifts or can't for whatever reason. That can't happen today. It can't happen today. De Rossi is going to have these guys fired up. Okay? The middle of the pitch, no more pussyfooting around. Like, they have to get stuck in, and they're going to have to win some battles. And if they want to play soft, this is going to be a long day at the office for Juve if we don't win the battle in the trenches on 50-50s. So, yeah,
there's a lot
that's
on the
what
pitch.
has to happen.
Yeah, there's a lot on the pitch that will get you angry. Like Mancini, Paredes, a Dybala goal. There are a lot of reasons for Juve
Oh,
to lose
yeah.
their head, which they usually do during games for longer periods. I'm not expecting 90 minutes anymore that will look the same, but still, like one goal could do it. Would probably do it, and so just get it. Just let's tick that box of Champions League qualification and go calm into the what is the Coppa Italia final, and that's it. Wrap this season up and let's start preparing for the next one.
Yeah, direct clash. If you're looking at
Yeah,
talking to this team in the locker room, it's really cut and dry. Guys, obviously we know what's been happening the past 15 games and everything. Look, none of that matters if you get the job done today. None of that matters. You get the job done today and you've pretty much punched that ticket. And then we can worry about the final, etc. But it's like, if you can't get up for this one, if you can't come out with some solid play right from the get-go and don't need some adverse scenario in order to react or pick your game up, if you need that, then yeah, you're already dead in the water. So hopefully, like I said, this should be an easy one to get motivated for. We're going to go through key stats before getting everyone's prediction on the panel and, of course, everyone in the live chat. And I see some questions. We're going to get into questions and everything as well. So there has been over 2.5 goals scored in 12 of Roma's last 15 games in Serie A. All right. And we know, of course, Juve does not score a lot of goals, but over 2.5, okay, in 12 out of their last 15. Roma winless 3 of their last 4 all competitions. Roma could go within 3 points of Juve, obviously, with the victory and whatnot. Juve have drawn their last 3 matches, and Juve with only 2 wins out of the last 13 games. Guys, it's time for the prediction challenge. We are going to kick things off with Omer, then we're going to go Lex, and then I will finish things up on the prediction. So, and you know the drill. Final score, 2 tiebreakers, and give me a player to watch. A player to watch in this game. So, Omer, kick us off.
okay. So, like I said, this feels like a 1-0 game. I'm just. It could go either way. So, just I'll go with 1-0 Juve. Probably like some I don't know, chaos in the area after a corner and someone pokes it in. I assume it would be Gatti. So that's my prediction. and that's about it. Yeah, 1-0
Okay.
Juve. Gatti scores. And what else you wanted? You wanted
Player to
something else?
watch.
Player to
Who's your
watch.
Oh, okay. I want you to look at where defensively and the work he does on El Shaarawy, and
All
why
right.
I prefer him playing instead of Kostic on the left.
All right. All right. Lex, you're up.
Ooh. It really can go either way today. I'm gonna go with, oh man, let's say, let's go with the 1-0 as well. 1-0 Juve. Gonna copy Omer on that one. It's gonna be a set piece goal from Vlahovic. And my player to watch is gonna have to be the one and only Paulo Dybala.
Oh my
Assuming he
God.
Okay. No, we have to make something clear
Enemy lines here. What the
for
hell?
Lex. For Lex, Dybala is like Del Piero for us. That's her favorite player ever. I can't judge her.
that is the player to
I
watch
can't
today
judge her. Yeah.
for everyone because he's going back up against his old club. He's going up against Juve. It's always, it's always talked about whenever
So
he
is
faces them.
Paredes.
Oh,
Yeah. What a career he's had at Juve.
what a guy!
All right. All right.
Cuadrado at Inter.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. So my gut's telling me a 1-1 draw. This game screams 1-1 draw all over it. And that's exactly why I'm not going to take the bait. Because my name is not Juan Cuadrado. All right. I'm not going to take the bait. So I'm going to go with this. I'm going to go 2-1 Juventus win. It's Cinque Maggio, baby. That's got to have some type of good vibes about it. On that day, Juventus scored 2 goals. So today we're scoring 2 goals. It'll be a 2-1 victory. We will not get a clean sheet. Paulo Dybala will score against Juventus today, okay? But we will win and have the last laugh, and we will get closer to punching that ticket. It's going to be 2-1 victory. I think that today the player to watch will be Cambiaso. And the reason I'm picking Cambiaso is because he has got this thing about him now where there's rumors of a lot of interesting interest in the player, etc. We hear that he is one of these focal points for us moving forth in the future. This is this game right now. Like I said, the slate is wiped clean. It doesn't matter about the struggles and everything. Today is crucial, and I'm expecting a big performance from Cambiaso. So he is going to be my player to watch. All right, so 2-1, Cambiaso, player to watch, and I'll give you, I said Dybala would end up getting a goal. And for Juve, as though Cambiaso is my player to watch, he's not going to be the goal scorer. Vlahovic finds a goal in this game, and one of the midfielders somehow, some fucking way finds a contribution, okay? Because enough is enough. One of these guys get the ball in the back of the net. I'm not calling Weston, okay? But just because I've gone down that road so many times and it's left the same way as always. You're stuck in a diner, throwing a salt shaker over your shoulder and hitting sea bass in the back of the fucking head, okay? So it's not happening. I'm just going to say a midfielder gets the goal, okay? So there you have it. Predictions are in. Everybody, the watch along is set. I'm rocking a watch along for this one, okay? So I hope to see you all there for that one. And now, storm the barn. But first, there was a question that came earlier, and it was with regards to the kit that Lex is wearing. Saying, beautiful kit. What kit is it? Obviously, 2004 season kit, but it's a beauty. Is there a player on the back, Lex?
No, there isn't. I found this at a vintage shop, local one, so there was not a player on the back, sadly. But I'm very happy with the find, and the logo is pretty nice. It's got a little bit of you can't really tell on camera, but it's a little bit cracked, so it's not the highest. But other than that, the quality is pretty good. Thank you,
Nice.
by the way, to the comment. Thanks.
Yeah, the 0405 kit was a beauty. I think the one I have is I actually think I have two. I think I have a Del Piero and a blank one as well. But those are beauties. And for kits, we did finish our members only show for the week, and it was Sev, our friend, Muser99 is his YouTube handle, challenged me to a kit battle, and we got it done, and it was a lot of fun. And Tony Trim was the official, and that show will be dropping. It's obviously members only show and whatnot, but it's dropping very, very soon. We had a lot of fun with that, and you guys will have to see, number one, if Tony Trim was fair in his ruling and who won and everything. But it was a lot of fun, and I look forward. We let our members do whatever the hell they want, so they can control the shows. That one was a lot of fun. Now, storm the barn, get your questions in, everybody. Let's rock it. Here's the first one. Sweaty, what would Lex's react? Oh, here we go. If Dybala severely hurts Juve's chances by scoring a winner today. Also, the thoughts of the others as well. So, Lex, let's say the result doesn't go our way and Dybala is the one that kills us. Then what? Then what?
Then what? Obviously, I would be sad. I'd be in support of Juve as always, and the fact that Dybala would be scoring against Juve would also be sad because he should still be scoring for us, in my opinion. It would just be sad overall. I would be not happy with that result, and I also just can't see it happening. I mean, we'll see what happens today, but yeah, I would be sad. I wouldn't
Does
like
he
that.
sell it?
Does he silly? No, I don't think so.
You don't
I
think he
don't think not
sells
even
against
after
us?
Mexico.
Okay.
I
Omer?
don't think.
Yeah. What was the question? Sorry.
If Dybala severely hurts Juve's chances by scoring the winner today, how do you feel about it?
No, it's fine. He
Pissed.
plays for. Yeah, I mean, it will be annoying, but I wouldn't hold it against him. He's playing for his team. He's paid to win. Like ever since I've seen Lampard score against Chelsea when he moved to like City for half a season and then he won the game, my opinion kind of changed. You know, if it's an historic player, that's the professionalism that got him where he is, and it's fine with me. Wouldn't
Although
change how I view him.
They got a
I
job
have
to do. It's like it is what it is. The
Yeah,
game's the
yeah,
game.
he's
But
getting paid to score.
if he, it would suck to see him sell it hard on us, whatnot. Like that always is a rough feeling and whatnot. But again, there was a
I
lot of
don't think he'll do
messiness
it.
with Dybala towards the end, both
I
ways,
don't
club
think
and
he'll do it.
player. If he sells it, honestly, like it would depend. It would depend how hard. But at the same time, like he's playing for his team now, and I could understand getting lost in the moment, like because it would be a big moment for them too. So it kind of is what it is. But Dybala, like I said, everybody, I actually do think he's scoring today. I do think he's scoring today.
I do too. I have a feeling. Yeah.
Yeah. Adam, who will win the Champions League, Europa League, and Conference League this year? Do you guys remember when we were asked this a while ago? My answer was I do feel Madrid's winning the Champions League again. I have a feeling they're winning the Champions League this year. I'm going to stick to that. I think they'll get the job done there. Europa? Maybe, just maybe, Xabi's men get it done. Conference League, what the hell is that? Just kidding. Just kidding. But Champions League and Europa first. Lex, your picks.
Champions, I'm going with Real Madrid as well. I mean, it's pretty safe pick when you're going for who's going to win the Champions League. So I'm going to go with them as history tells us. Europa League, I'm going with Leverkusen. They're just unplayable right now. I don't know, maybe unless, I don't know, Gasparini gets through and cooks something up. Something very, very special because I think that they've just got that luck this year. So Conference League, I'm going to go with Vinny Italiano. I think he gets it done finally.
Oh, okay. Okay. Omer.
Yeah, mine is exactly as Lex's. Yeah,
Yes.
it's Real Madrid, Leverkusen. Doesn't seem like anyone can stop them right now. And I think Italiano like gets it with an Italian shithousery and manages to get that trophy.
Uh,
Man, it's gonna be
Oh,
interesting.
and everyone is asking.
Olympiacos with what, the 4-2 in the first leg against Villa
Yeah,
there. So yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting for sure. If Italiano gets it, Italiano might be the only Italian getting the European. I don't know about Atalanta, but Scamacca, if he keeps banging in the goals there, who knows? Who knows? But Leverkusen just seems really, really tough to deal with right now. And of course, everything else is wrapped up other than that for them. So it's full systems go for Europa League. I think they'll do it. I think they'll do it. Now, keep them rolling. Keep them rolling. 3 freebies that Juve should look at this summer.
okay, so I have a list in front of me. You want me to read some names out?
Yeah, I was
So,
already going to give my 3, but that's okay. Fire out the list so
so
everybody's got them.
number one, Kylian Mbappe. We should definitely aim for him. Yeah. Now, okay, it's Rabio, Hermoso, Zielinski, Varane, Guido Rodriguez. Who else? Rafa from Benfica is actually very interesting. And Didi would be one of my picks. Wilfred and Didi. Some other names: Alex Nere, Jorginho, but it seems like he's extending. Berenger, Tony Cruz, Andre Gomez, Nicola Pepe, Mehdi Taremi already signed with Inter. So yeah, not a lot to choose from.
No, it's
Yeah,
pretty
I
skinny.
think probably Hermoso, Rafa, and Ndidi. And Spinazzola, if he's available, then Spinazzola.
For me, the guys they should be definitely looking at is the guys in the middle of the park. Cruz, if he ends up on a free, gotta be making a stab there for me. Jorginho, gotta be making a stab. Hermoso, you gotta be going after that. You have to be. Outside of that, there are the other guys we talked about. Spinazzola, you obviously mentioned Ndidi, everything like that. Modric coming up and at the prime age of 38 years old. Hey, I'm not even joking when I said Modric, it would depend on the terms. If he was willing to come and be a support type player, getting your 30 minutes, your 40 minutes here and there, and be able to work with our younger guys, and like, what better guy for a kid like Fajoli to kind of like take the tutelage from and learn from? Like, if he would accept that role, even at 38, I'm not even joking, I would do it. If he would be willing to work on
Definitely.
a decent salary and be a support player. As a main guy, no.
Okay, so I had a discussion with AJ from Twitter, everyone who knows him, because he was pointing out that they weren't playing enough. So Cruz played more. The only guys at Juve that played more minutes than Cruz this season are Bremer and Lucatelli. That's it. So he has the legs in him. For both of them, Modric and Cruz, I mean, you're kidding yourself if you don't think they're an immediate improvement on anyone in our midfield. And but I do feel like this is like the last chance. Like this
Oh
is the
yeah.
last summer for either of them.
I
No
will
matter
also
who
say
afterwards.
Modric has played 2,000 minutes this season, so it's not like he's
Yeah.
not playing. Like, he's still played 2,000 minutes this season, and quality minutes. Like, always leaving you with something every time he's out there. Um, I'd look at them. I'm serious. Like, depending on what the options are, Cruz is still higher up for me because he's got more in the tank. But Lex, 3 freebies you would like to see us, you think we should be definitely considering?
I think Spinazzola, Modric would love to have him. Like you said, I don't think anyone can argue that he doesn't absolutely improve every aspect of our midfield. And shout out to Animesh for pointing out the reminder about Luis Alberto apparently being on the move this summer, which
but
that's
but
true.
He
he's
won't be
not out of
free.
contract.
Yeah.
He's not out of
Oh,
contract. He wants to end his contract, but
Yeah.
Lotito already said that that's not going to happen. Not the way he wants it.
Yeah.
He,
They're not going to
yeah.
just terminate him like they'd sell him, so it doesn't
he
fall
just
in line with the
renewed.
freebies. But yes, definitely I think we should be looking at him if that's the case and it's a cheap deal.
That would be my dream.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I don't know. I don't know if we'll get the sale there from
Yeah.
Lazio.
Pipe dream
So,
for me is
Mhm.
Cruz. I'm still standing firm on that pipe dream. I'm not giving up. Not giving up hope, everybody. Okay? Practically a prisoner of Lotito now. Aren't they all
true.
prisoners at Lazio?
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah, it feels that way. Feels that way. Storm the barn. What else do we got? We got one. I think that was in here for Omer. And where is it here? Where is the peacock?
Oh, yeah.
Omer, where's
Okay,
the peacock?
I don't eat peacocks, and there are like too many of them. It's not one. Okay, there's a
You
school
have a gang of
nearby.
peacocks running wild in your neighborhood.
Yeah, yeah, basically, yeah. I mean, they're not doing anything. They're just making noise. They're not dangerous. I sent you a video of my dog chasing them.
It
He
sounded
likes
like a
to scare
cat.
them.
That I still
It,
swear that was a cat, and then you're like, "That's a peacock." I'm like, "What?"
yeah, yeah, that's definitely a peacock. Once you know the sound, you immediately recognize it. But there's a school nearby, and they had a petting zoo. They still have with like goats and stuff for children, and they had peacocks there, but they broke loose and multiplied like bunnies. Now there are tons of them, but they're not disturbing the day to day life. They're just making noise.
Just trying to get in on live shows. That's all.
Yeah,
That's all
Yes.
good.
yeah, trying to
Who
steal
can
my
blame
thunder.
them? But Dad, if you were Juntali for one day, who would you bring in from the guys that we are not seemingly interested in? Dybala for me and Lex probably. Okay. Well, Lex, let's get your answer here. Is it Dybala?
Yes. You know me very
Bring
well.
back. Okay.
Absolutely.
If there's another player outside of that, we'll see if somebody comes up. Omer, a player we're not seemingly interested in.
Uh, I still want one of Dortmund's full, not Dortmund, Leverkusen's fullbacks. I mean, I was talking to you about Frimpong when he was like 25 million. Now there's no way we can get him, but if there is a chance, the management did say they will sign one quality fullback. So I'm trying to run an idea through my head, but honestly, the names thrown out are fine. It's exactly the type of players we should be looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have anyone
I would kind of
specific that I would
throw
like to see.
Bellanova out there, to be honest, as one I'd like to. I don't know. I've always liked him. I think he's a solid player. I think it'd be cheap. It'd be interesting, and we could use somebody like that to also round things out. Yeah, I don't know. He's kind of one I'd say we've never shown interest in, but Bellanova would be one of my guys that I would look at. Outside of that, I'm trying to think if there's anyone else. Let's see, what do we got? So Bellanova, Grimaldo, a lot for Grimaldo. Man, I think Omer and I probably spent every show when he was going on a free.
Yeah.
He was a free try, and we were like, Grimaldo, like, what are we doing? Can we pick up Grimaldo? Joe Cappuccino every day on Twitter was like, are we signing Grimaldo? Are we looking at Grimaldo? Yeah, he's definitely one of the guys. Coyote coming in here.
Oh, I know. I would actually like. Yeah, Coyote is a good shout. I don't mind having him, but I really, really like Lookman from Atalanta.
Mm.
Lookman.
if we can somehow get our hands on him, that would be a great signing.
It's a
Lookman.
good show.
Good shout. Good shout. Now, before we get close to the end here, and if you have more Storm the Barns, fire them away. We got to open it up to Omer and Lex. If there's any questions, if there's anything we didn't tackle that you wanted to get into.
Okay, so Lex can go first.
Oh, and I'm with this one for Alex P. I don't know how I forgot because I've thrown him out here a bunch.
Oh,
Orsolini.
Yeah, I was gonna say Orsolini.
Yes.
Yes.
Orsolini. I like that shout. I like that shout. Now, any questions? Anything that we didn't tackle you wanted to get into before I rudely interrupted there with Orsolini, Lex?
That's all good. Yes, great show with Orsolini. I was going to throw him out there as well. I think that going back to our discussion on Zirkzee, I think there's a lot of interesting comments to be made. We didn't get into it, but some of the chat members were speaking about it. Does he occupy a similar space to, say, Fagioli or Yildiz? So in terms of us, I think the debate is less around whether or not he can work with Vlahovic and more around whether or not he can play with Yildiz, Fagioli, those types of players. So I thought that was very interesting, and that was a good question.
Yeah, the whole Zirkzee thing, I guess we also kind of forgot about this while we were talking about it because it kind of just flowed into the Malta thing. But the rumors kind of around it are that like Huijsen and Sule might both have to be moved because you got to make way in the midfield. You have to still bolster the midfield. But if you're spending on Zirkzee, how's that going to affect the rest of the guys? So if you're bringing in Zirkzee, number one, we asked a question. If you had to sacrifice Vlahovic, we put a poll question out there. If you had to sacrifice Vlahovic to bring in Zirkzee, would you do it? 91% said no, not sacrificing Vlahovic to do it. So now the follow-up naturally would be, if you have to sacrifice Huijsen and Sule, are you doing that to bring in Zirkzee? Yes or no, you guys?
I think they'll be sacrificed regardless. So getting Zirkzee for them from that money, yeah, that would be a good move. One of them is definitely out. And I think Huijsen is out, especially if we're signing Calafiori and Jallo and all those guys. I just don't see him getting any minutes. Sule is still up in the air for me because I do think Mota would want a player of his profile even for rotation. But if they're both gone, I think Zirkzee is like a fair player to get for that money.
Lex, losing Huijsen and Sule, bringing in Zirkzee.
It would be tough, like you pointed out. I think it's fair to say that at least one of them will be gone anyways. So when we speak about using that transfer money properly, I would be happy if it was Zirkzee who was brought in for those two players. As you mentioned, though, I think Sule would be great on the wing in Malta's system. So definitely some things to consider. But I think I wouldn't be upset about it if it happened.
Yeah. So I highlighted Luke's comment here because it says, unpopular opinion, Huijsen is the only untransferable defender for me. And I highlighted that because I've said for a long time that I feel like we should not be selling Huijsen. However, there's also some other things that I've been saying. Number one, we need a statement. Like, we need a statement this summer. Statement of intent. You don't necessarily do that by banking on potential again. Because we've kind of been using the young guys now to get us out of crunch financially. That's happening, okay? But now, all of a sudden, it's like, if you're going to move guys potentially anyways, and I know that the story around Zirkzee for many is that, well, is he going to do this consistently? Is this kind of this fluke year or whatnot? Well, maybe, but maybe not. But neither is a guarantee. Whether you keep around Sule and Huijsen, is Sule going to become what everybody thinks? That's not a guarantee. Is Huijsen going to become everything is guaranteed. Are one of these guys or both of them going to want to leave us in a little bit based on interest or anything? Like, there's a lot of scenarios. So for me, it's about right now, Zirkzee is a hot commodity. He's got interest from a lot of teams. If we are in fact moving to Mota and he wants to work with Mota, that is a good statement of intent by bringing this guy in who's having such a strong season. You can back that if you can multiply that by strengthening the midfield as well, which can't be sacrificed. That's the biggest thing for me. Cannot sacrifice what happens in the midfield. Has to be boosted. If you can do all of this, okay, and we have to sacrifice the young guys, that's fine, because you know what? Next gen isn't going anywhere. Young guys are still going to be produced by Juventus. And Facundo Gonzalez got a Serie B loan. Get him into a Serie A team next season for a loan. And maybe he turns out better than Huijsen. Who knows? But for me, we have to make a statement, and you have to bolster your team like now. And I'm kind of on the verge of going towards guys that are actually doing it now more so than banking on the talent. And it can be said that Sule's had a strong season, but you guys know how I feel about his season. A lot of PKs in there, not a lot of good showings against top sides. I would do it. And I've always said I wouldn't sell Huijsen. But if that was the trade-off, I would do it.
Yeah, look, there are going to be some transfer this summer that we don't like, players that we want to see. I mean, everyone has some favorites and sees something different in different players, and usually you don't get to see them, and they get shipped out. And no player is a guarantee right now. If not this summer, the next summer. And what happened if we keep Huijsen, but he doesn't get any minutes because there's still Danilo and Bremer and Jallo and Gatti and whoever we're going to sign, Calafiori. And then next season his price drops massively.
Yeah.
I mean, I always told you it's better to sail a year too early than a year too late.
Absolutely.
And with those youngsters, there's never guarantees. And the financial state we have right now, we should definitely entertain the option of even selling them both. Like the contract they gave Yildiz, that's a statement of we trust in you, we want you here for the near future. That 1 million contract is not going to remain very long. It's going to get pumped probably next summer, if I had to guess. So yeah, you gotta choose wisely who you invest your money in and who do you cash in on.
Yeah. What about Samardzic? Any latest update? Well, all the updates are the same, that Juve is still in the driver's seat there, and that it's expected that he could potentially be joining. He hasn't ever left the target list for Juventus. And there are still rumblings that there's this agreement that was in place at the winter when we couldn't find a move with Udinese and everything like that. So Samardzic is still in play. Who's your player of the season? Player of the season.
I know who my player is. Definitely Bremer. I think that without him, we'd be talking about a Europa League spot. Saved us millions of times against all the teams that have good strikers. The guys that we had tough time dealing with. He had them in his pockets for most of the season.
Yeah.
For like 90% of matches. So, yeah. But there are other shouts as well.
Bremer for Omer. Lex, your player of the season.
For me, it's going to have to be between Cambiaso and McKennie, I think. Just for overall performances, what they've done for our team that has lacked creation when they've come up in moments for us, that would probably be mine.
There you go. I am going to agree with Omer. I'm going to give it to Bremer. And the reason I'm going to give it to Bremer is because he's the only guy that comes up for me when we're talking about consistency the whole year throughout, game in, game out. I can think of 2 shoddy performances from Bremer this season. Outside of that, he's been an absolute rock. And Yeah, he's got the consistency on. Without him, I think we'd be a mess back there. And without that, God knows what this season would have been like. So I'm going to go that route. Alex P having some fun. Lex, how you going to feel if Allegri remains? Oh, I don't think it's happening. But, I mean, what could you really feel? I mean, I'm still going to support, but it's like, I think the time has come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would be disappointed. I would still support and watch and suffer. But
I'm more curious of how fired up that peacock would be if Allegri's around and he's got to listen to these live shows where we're getting frustrated game in, game out. That peacock might have to get a health check. But we'll see. Oh my God, do I want to bet? Last bet didn't end up well, 10 kits, whatever. Well, it ended up well for the subscribers and followers, etc. But I'll put a bet on it. Whatever. Is what it is. I don't know if I'm going 10 again, but we'll get a bet because I just can't see it happening. And I think the body language, the words even Max is using in pressers and everything, I think it's pretty much at that point. But as far as a bet, you got a few more matches to work me on a bet, and we'll see what happens. But that's it.
Yeah, someone wrote here that I had Bremer out of the lineup for my fantasy team. Okay, so I haven't visited the fantasy page for, I think, 4 months. Yeah, something like that. I think it was in the lineup, and then he was injured one game, and I logged in, and I took him out, and I haven't touched it since. I have no idea where I stand. And I don't win anything anyway, so what's the point? If we had a good season, I would have probably been following.
Lineups. Get your line set. And I say this as I've missed the past few weeks because life got so busy. So my league kicked off, and now all of a sudden I'm playing like 2, sometimes 3 times a week, and it's just like I've completely lost track myself. I might have slipped up and lost the lead as far as the AJC panel goes, but
let me check.
I let it down. I had a good run, but the leader of that pool hasn't dropped it for so long, and it's just been crushing. It's crazy. And there might be some prizes in there.
I'm 88 in the table.
88.
Okay. Yeah, Lucci is ahead of me. How does my team look? I have no idea who is in my team.
I don't even want to know. I haven't touched mine in months.
You got.
Oh, I have Zirkzee. Wow, that's a crappy lineup.
Right.
No, but Bremer is in there.
You guys can check the fantasy. You guys check your Fantacalcio lineups. You can't change it now for this week anyways. Couple weeks left. We'll see who ends up taking it all down. You guys, do whatever you got to do. Pre-game rituals. Okay, get hyped up, get pumped up. Let's reconvene 25 minutes before kickoff. I'm bringing you the live watch along. It's Roma, it's Juventus, it's a Cinque Maggio. Let's get the job done today. Hope to see you all back on for the live watch along. And immediately after the watch along, we got a post-match call-in show. Okay, so you can either join us on video if you like, or like I said, you could just simply call in, all right? And we're doing that immediately after. Omer, were you still going to be around for that for a bit?
For what? For tomorrow?
Post-match after the game today.
No, that's really late for me. It's like after midnight.
Oh, so he's not joined by the Peacocks. He's out.
Yeah.
All right. But that's okay. We'll sort it out. I'll see what the boys are doing. Should be able to round up somebody from the troop, and then we'll see what goes on, all right? You guys, take care. We'll see you in a few hours. Lex, always a pleasure. Omer, always a pleasure. Fino alla fine. Forza Juventus. Gotta win today. Let's go.
Yeah.